Adam West's story is a strange mix of glamour, heartbreak, unfairness, and resilience. Long before he became the man behind the iconic cowl, he was William West Anderson, born in 1928 in Walla Walla, Washington. His father was steady and hard-working, tending apple orchards, while his mother was a gifted but troubled artist who had once dreamt of Hollywood. Her mood swung between brilliance and despair, yet from her he inherited something essential: a need to be seen, to perform, to step into a role larger than himself. At 10 years old, he picked up Detective Comics number 27 and met Batman for the first time. That dark, clever figure became an escape for him, a model for a quiet kind of heroism he clung to as his family fell apart, and he moved with his mother to Seattle after his parents' divorce. Life in Seattle reshaped him. The city was faster, louder, more theatrical. He bounced between schools, getting expelled from one, sneaking out tractors, and even stealing a school bus with a friend to impress girls. Somehow he charmed his way back into every place he was nearly kicked out of, gaining confidence on stage, in student government, and on sports teams. After high school he attended Whitman College, studying psychology and literature, acting in plays, joining the speech team, and marrying young. But after graduating, he found himself drifting. He worked in canneries, ranches, and eventually radio. When he was drafted during the Korean War, the Army put him on the American Forces Network, where he learned how to speak on air with poise and timing. Radio became his training ground, even if he didn't know it then. After the war he delivered milk at dawn and chased auditions afterward, refusing to let exhaustion crush his ambition. In 1954 he moved his growing family to Hawaii, and landed a job on a children's show with a chimp named Peaches. It was chaotic, low budget, but he was finally performing. By 1957 he adopted the name Adam West, hoping it would give him a smoother path into Hollywood. Roles trickled in small parts in westerns, courtroom dramas, and sci-fi shows. He played Doc Holliday multiple times, and though the roles were minor, he had a presence people noticed. By the early 1960s he was landing bigger parts. He braved the heat of Utah to film his first starring role in a western, and then appeared in the sci-fi adventure Robinson Crusoe on Mars, working long days in the desert for a modest paycheck. Not everything he touched succeeded. Soldier in the Rain, a film with Steve McQueen and Jackie Gleason, flopped at the box office and left West in debt. But he kept fighting, kept auditioning, kept waiting for something that would finally break open his career. His agent eventually sent him out for a role producers struggled to cast: a billionaire detective who wore a bat suit. West had recently played a charming con man on television, and ABC thought he could pull off a character who needed to be both serious and ridiculous. In 1965 he signed a contract for the upcoming Batman TV series, earning around $350 per episode before renegotiations. When he first put on the suit, it was heavy, awkward, and unbearably hot under studio lights, but none of that mattered once the show premiered in January 1966. Batman became a phenomenon overnight. 20 million viewers tuned in. Kids mimicked catchphrases, adults enjoyed the deadpan humor, and West himself became a household name. His pay rose to about $2,150 per episode, but long shooting days and the weight of the costume took a toll on his health. His co-star Burt Ward earned far less, and neither actor could have imagined that even as the show became a merchandising goldmine, they would see none of the profits. The real betrayal came buried in their contracts. West and Ward were promised 5% of merchandising revenue, but the studio used a loophole that reclassified almost everything as promotional material rather than merchandise. That tiny change made the actors legally entitled to nothing. Toys, costumes, lunchboxes, and action figures generated billions of dollars, but the stars who brought the characters to life received not a single cent. When West discovered this in 1968, he filed a lawsuit, only to be quietly paid a small settlement, far below what he was truly owed. The injustice haunted him for years. After the show was canceled in 1968, the fame that once lifted him became a cage. Casting directors saw Batman instead of Adam West, and serious roles evaporated. He auditioned endlessly but could not escape the cape. Money dried up. Depression and drinking followed. He embarrassed himself on sets, forgot lines, and spiraled into personal and financial crisis. His wife Marcelle did what she could to keep him grounded, while he fought through rehab and therapy. He took small roles he hated, movies that mocked his Batman past, and guest appearances that turned him into a living punchline. The humiliation nearly broke him. He considered ending his life more than once. But the second act of his career began with something unexpected: self-parody, done on his own terms. When he voiced himself on The Simpsons, for the first time he laughed with the joke instead of being the joke. It gave him power back. A few years later, Family Guy cast him as the absurd, lovably delusional Mayor Adam West, and across 17 seasons he found not only steady work but a new generation of fans. By the 2010s he was earning $50,000 per episode and finally enjoying a career free from the shadows of 1966. His legacy expanded through voice acting, conventions, and affectionate tributes. In 2012 he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a moment that softened years of bitterness. Fans showed up in droves. He smiled, joked, and seemed finally at peace with the role that had once imprisoned him. In 2017 he was diagnosed with leukemia but kept the news private. He underwent mild treatment, choosing quality of life over aggressive procedures. On June 9, 2017, at age 88, Adam West died surrounded by his family. His last words, a quiet nod to the childhood fantasy that shaped him, were to the bat pole. Cities lit up buildings in tribute. Family Guy aired a memorial episode. For days the world honored the man who had played a hero and endured struggles few ever saw. Though he died with an estimated net worth of $8 million, it was later revealed that he had lost out on roughly $20 million in royalties he should have earned. Even so, Adam West found a way to reclaim his story, transforming himself from a typecast icon into a resilient, self-aware legend who spent his final years embraced by the fans who never stopped loving him.